All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today, my good friend Audrey Lightlanguage is back with us. And we're talking about the heart is the key and the way. So, oh my goodness, we always have this wonderful time when Audrey comes on the show. Always high vibe, lots of light language, lots of speaking with the beings of light, with mother that comes through, with language of the Akash and numbers and so on, so much. So today, especially, I was just saying to Audrey how the energy was really heavy today, this morning. It's Thursday, but it feels like all week it's been a bit heavy. So hopefully we can clear some of that. And we're going to talk about how the heart is the key and the way, and the importance of that, of tending to your essence as you release and upgrade to be in resonance with the new operating system, the new operating system, as you build a bridge to your future self by releasing the old. And so that I love that phrasing, as we build a bridge to our future selves by releasing the old. And that's exactly what we're doing all the time. As we're releasing the old, we're building that bridge to be more incongruent with our future self, to be more in alignment with our future self, to just be more tapped into our future self. So we're going to talk about all of that, plus the importance of working with energy and setting yourself free from the old energy ties and agreements and contracts, the importance of being free from parasitic energy attachments and entities. We're going to talk about the power to assist not only yourself, but your generations in both directions and ancestral issues. The importance of healing the heart and releasing what needs to be released to open it once again and reaching into the inner child for healing. So we're going to talk about all of that and so much more. And Audrey's going to talk about the sacred key code number work that she does, which is really, really powerful. We're going to talk about that, and we'll be taking your live questions as well. And for those of you who don't know Audrey, she has been on our show many, many times. We love her. She's so authentic and integrity. She is a soul architect and an energy engineer. She's an ambassador of peace who has traversed the multiverses forever with the pulling of the plug on the experiment of duality polarity. And through its experience of entering so deeply into the density, sleep and forgetting, she now gives a great opportunity to recreate and step into a time within the new creation to experience eternal peace. And so Audrey looks forward to the times when a position such as hers as a peace ambassador will no longer be necessary. But for now, it is, and we're so glad that Audrey is back with us. Audrey, welcome back to the show. Did we lose Audrey? Yes, well, kind of. She's here, but not here.
Hi, yes, it was freezing. Actually, the whole thing went off, and now you're back. So
yay, good. Well, hopefully you all heard me.
We'll continue on. So just let me know if there's any problem, if I need to move to another room or such.
Okay, I think it should be
when we're
fine.
together, we always bring in such high energy, also, Laura, and your beautiful audience. So sometimes it affects the technology and
Absolutely.
such. But we'll work through it. Yes, thank you so much for saying all those beautiful words. Yes, I so do look forward to when there's no longer needed an ambassador of peace, because we've arrived there, as we were speaking about that future, right, version of ourselves, which that bridge, because when people are saying, speaking to or hearing their higher self, that is like them, right? Who and what they are, their future version of themselves, reaching back, so to say, to the older versions. Sorry, hold on. Thank you.
Yeah.
The older versions of themselves to do exactly all the work that needs to get done, right? Generational clearing, right? Opening the heart, old agreements, old ties that bind, parasitic infections. It's huge, So this is like going through one's files, so to say, right? From a future version of self, the past selves, right, which are the present self, to clean up all those things that need to be cleaned up, So you're more and more in resonance with that higher self, but inside of you, not distance, not there, and maintain the bridge to your future self. Maintain that. So no distractions occur, no manipulation, to get you away from the many paths of possible probabilities that occur and are there, that you maintain that bridge, right? Affecting your future self from here, which would be that future self's past self, but is our present, and affecting the present self from the future self, right? Because we're all a soul, right? One beingness, having all these multiple dimensional experiences at one time. So what we're doing here is so important, each and every one of you. So thank you so much for being here and being the light unto the world that you are, beautiful ones, in the lighthouses. So thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be with you and your beautiful audience of listeners again, Alara. Yes, that key is the heart in the way. I just received a message actually before Easter, and I needed to put the message out, and I hadn't gotten a chance yet, being so busy with family and such at Easter. But it was bringing me back to the work that when I had first begun, they would tell me the heart is the key in the way, the heart is the key in the way. And as years have gone on, of course, many other things had to be added to that to help people who can't reach that heart again because perhaps so many traumas, they've been through so much, or to protect themselves have closed that heart. So now, after all those years, coming back to that same message, because they were saying those that can be of heart. What is heart? Higher expressions, yeah? Higher consciousness, empathy, compassion, patience, all the higher expressions. They said they then attain and have that key which opens the path, the way, right, to that new future and that version of themselves. So they are no longer, so to say, stuck in, right, the same old, the loops of the same that have occurred over and over again. And that's why many other entities or beings, perhaps, that don't understand the heart and the key in the way, or they don't have it, maybe being transhuman or a being, that is a hybridization or something like this. People assume always whatever beings they're speaking to have that, but they don't all have that. That's why humans are so beautiful and a beautiful divine expression of source and creation. Why they want so much a piece of us, or to try to capture that key that would open the path to them, that they cannot access that, and why so many of these things go on, and why it's so important to assist beautiful ones that perhaps need some nourishment for their soul and their heart, and help open it up again so they have that access to that key again.
Beautiful, thank you. And the thing is, a lot of times, people have a hard time feeling their heart. They have a hard time accessing their heart. I know for a long time, years ago, before I even started doing these telesummits, there was a time when I felt very numb, right? I could not feel my heart at all. And there were moments when it's like, if somebody asked me, like, do you know what it feels like to love? And it's like, well, no, I don't think I love anybody other than my children. I know I love my children, but I cannot feel any love for anybody else. I was in like deep depression, right? But I couldn't feel anything for anybody else, including myself. But I knew that I loved my children. That was like 100%. But my heart was numb, right? Because it was broken, it was hurting, it was wounded, it was all sorts of wonderful things. It's all good now, but at that time, right? So I did a lot of work, and so then I was able to open up my heart, release some old wounds, forgive myself, have compassion for myself, etc. But it is true that sometimes people don't understand what it feels like to truly tap into their heart and love others, let alone love themselves.
Exactly. Perfectly, beautifully said. And that sort of say trauma or hurt or protection of one's heart,
Yeah.
is not only from this present physical embodiment that we're in, but as we are souls, right, that are using the physical vessel, yet again, in multiple other vessels, right, we're multidimensional beings, right, cosmic beings simultaneously. But imagine all of that on the heart soul, right, that beingness, that sacred heart, and of course it's sacred, right, because that is the ones that have it, that hold it, the key in the path, making it holy and sacred, with the trauma from all these multiple lives, and let alone the looping, right, that we've been stuck in this for millennia over and over. It would not be unnatural that one would be moved to protect that heart and close it because of multiple traumas, over and over, killed, hurt, harmed, feeling defeated or not good enough with the belief systems, that were constantly perpetuated on them. So they want to protect themselves. How are they going to do that? By closing that heart off. And so that's why exactly what you said, the works to help them to be heart for themselves and for others as well. And what a gift, your children coming through to you, yeah, by no coincidence. So they were there already opening that heart up for you. So that was
Absolutely.
beautiful. So then you just extended it out from there. That was wonderful. Because imagine if you had not had that agreement, so to say, to dance in this particular expression of life again with them, that they did come in to know, right, to help you with that.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. So you
Yeah,
already
thank
knew
goodness.
what it
I'm
was in that way,
so
rather
grateful.
than being totally locked up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so
Beautiful,
great,
beautiful.
so grateful for them. I mean, not just them, but even, my parents, my family, my friends, they were all there, right? But I just couldn't feel, right? Except for the kids, which, that's so grateful. But but also, it's like when we're talking about the heart is the key in the way. So how can you do a clearing or some light language for all of us to just open up our hearts a little bit more, or to
Yes.
release some of that old wounding, some of that protection specifically, and the fear a little bit more. And there's something that I just have to share really quickly. So I was watching a movie, right, a couple of weeks ago, and this was a movie based on real story, right, real life, right. This was about, I don't know if anybody knows this, but in India there was this big, huge event years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, where a girl and a boy were in a bus, and they were attacked, and the woman was raped viciously, like it was horrible. And I watched this, story, and it's like I'm still affected by it. And I remember watching it, I'm thinking, how could any human being do that? Because it was really demonic, it was like really bad. Say, how could a human being do that to somebody? And it came to me, it's like, well, he was not normal. He was not a normal human being. He had been taken over by entities or demons or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Because even in the story, they said that, 2 years before, his wife had died, and since then he's been a different person, very angry, very violent, whatever. But the thing is, so, it's like, yes, that's what was happening with him. But what this whole incident created, one of the things was so much fear, right? So much fear for women in India that they didn't feel safe to travel by themselves or go on a bus or whatever. And I thought to myself, because we talk about this a lot on our calls, is about how that fear was feeding, other beings, and it was creating this separation and separateness. And, it's like, oh my goodness, and it's like, it was bad enough what she experienced, but then what everybody else experienced in the whole country and all women, in India and maybe beyond. But it's like, oh my God, what were we feeding? Who were we feeding with that fear?
Exactly. And that is why the first action that those disincarnated entities that I call parasitic or vampiric are able to get into beings, right? His heart maybe being broken or angry, right? Of what happened with his wife, perhaps.
Yeah.
Then that hole being there, and that able to get in within him and then use him as a puppet to do abominations and atrocities, which that one thing is gonna, which is horrible and terrible, but it's gonna ripple out over and over. So all the rest of those dark entities, right, can continue to be fed and emanate out by exactly the fear.
Yeah.
And it's no coincidence, right, how these things work. This is like the real magic in effect, right? And I'm called a weaver of codes for creation. We are weaving here right now, right? You and I and all the beautiful ones, I have goosebumps, right? Who are here together with us now, right? Because we have come to be the light unto the world, right? The lighthouses. Sometimes they need some help, right? To drink from the wellspring, like the work I bring through, to be nourished, fortified, strengthened, right? Upon that journey, because we give and we give. Just being here, being a real being, a souled being, holding the light to the midst of all of this that is going on, is huge. And so we give and we give and we give, right? Even unaware of our own selves, sometimes knowing what we're doing. So it is good when we have calls like this, and works as these, so they can be sustained, right? To continue holding that light in the face of what you're discussing, what is happening and going on. In that message, I had another second message with my automatic writing. They were talking about, biblically when they say, like, yea, though I walk through the valley of death, right? I shall fear no evil, right?
Yeah.
So it's not funny, haha, because there's no coincidence. I was thinking of discussing and bringing that topic up. And now what you're talking about totally opens that up, right? Because when they say you're walking through the valley of death, right? What is dead? Those things, those entities, right? The beings that they have captured, many of them, right? Either wanting to make them AI, transhuman, hybridization, or just made in creation that are lower expression. So are not a souled or hearted being, understanding what we said, empathy, compassion, all those higher expressions and expanded consciousness and having a heart allows for. So it's as if we are walking right through the dead ones, right? In this valley of the dead ones of death. Fear no evil. Evil is what? How many people speak about this place is reversed, right? This matrix, whatever you want to call it, the experiment, right? Reversal. So you take the word, as many I'm sure have heard before, evil, you reverse it. It's live, right? To be alive, right? So we are here and we will not fear walking through the dead, right? And if we even take it to the further point, which I don't know if you guys can understand this, but it's part of my work trying to talk about it. Remember how we were speaking the future version of ourselves, right? Looking back here to our present, but it would be that new future's past, right? So it's as if we're here in the past again, walking amongst the dead ones. What are the dead ones? The ones that didn't make it to the new future, right? Because they are not a part, they don't have the key, they didn't walk the path, right? It wasn't open to them. So right now, like walking amongst the dead and the dead ones, right? Dead of soul, dead of spirits, right? Or entities that are only can be parasitic, you know, and do abominations to life. So that's why these works are very important to help fortify them, right? So they fear no evil. And thusly also, when they were talking about that to fear no evil, they were also mentioning, as you know, when they speak about that the meek shall inherit the earth, right?
Yep.
Now, meek, not weak, right?
Yep.
Meek meaning gentle, compassionate, kind, right? So in my message, it said, and so the meek, they shall, and they have inherited the earth. What would that be? The new future, right? Of earth, of creation, where we express again from heart and only highest expression, loving and honoring and respecting each other, because we understand, as the Christed beingness would understand, we do no harm to another, because that is another version of creation and its beautiful own expression, you know? So,
yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up, Alara. That's exactly, it's their dark magic they use and the horrors they do, which emanate the things out, which feeds them and continues to maintain them in their agendas, off of our light and our source and our beingness of what we are. Someone's on the screen. Did you see that, Alara? I have someone on my screen who's there. So
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so that is the importance of what you're saying, and why so many going through those traumas, right? And those situations that they're dealing with, looping in this over and over again, why they close their hearts, right?
Yeah.
Because of so much that's been bombarding them. It was like an only way for them to survive, you know? So these are beautiful things. So I energetically get in there with the numbers and the Akash language that rewrites the Akash to the new path's potential at the higher energy, and the light language to help move those things out, which were energy shackles or fears that may have bound them, you know, or through ancestral or generational or other multi-dimensional aspects, perhaps decisions or things that are bleeding through right into this physical embodiment now, to help erase and release. The beauty of this work is that it's quantum, right? It's all modalities in one. Something that would have taken, I saw that you were speaking with someone else about, rather than walking through the shadow, right? The shadow over and over and over again, it's not necessary, right? So there's many means now that you can access. So what would have taken years before, you know, or months before, like with my work as well, reaching thousands of those lives in a session. So it's quantum, right? Fast track, quickly getting done to help assist them. And not only in their, let's say, conscious right now understanding, but reaching to their unconscious and subconscious as well, which needs to be done, and work on the DNA. How beautiful is this, that they're going to assist their generations in both directions, right? By they, them here, again, another reason, another mission, right? Why they're here. This embodiment allows the opportunity. So you do the work, your DNA gets raised, right? You you pour the light back in, affects the DNA, so that then ripples through the DNA in both directions, right? What a beautiful, loving gift, right? To assist the generations and ancestral things, right? It's beautiful and it's huge, this work, you know? So I hope they will take part. Do you want to say something else before I speak some light language?
No, no, that's great. No, I was just like, yeah, let's do some light language just to clear the heaviness, clear the density, and also to just bring more light onto the planet, especially for the situation I described, so that, you know, we don't have to repeat that again. We don't have
Yes.
to experience that again, and we don't have to experience the same type of fear and as and I don't know, torture, you know, kind of thing,
Yes,
you know, the
and no
best we can.
longer continue to feed those disincarnate entities and those other ones that live off of that. So,
Yeah,
and thusly, we are empowering ourselves, right, to
yeah.
no longer be a battery for them and feed them. So, thank you so much for bringing it up and only confirming on what I was thinking, right? That's the real magic, you know, to talk about, that you opened it up already when I was standing there on the door thinking, well, this is what we'll talk about. So, that was done so
Yeah.
beautifully. So, see, beautiful ones, that's how the magic, right? The true, real magic works, you know? The other dark ones use their dark magic, very well knowing about that, right? For millennia that they have used it. And others were put in sleep or forgetting or fear. And now it's time to re educate them, right? To understand so they also have access, right? Like we're going to do right now. All of us join together as you're receiving the light language. You're also giving of your beautiful hearts and your energy, right? That we've come to do on our missions, right? And such to hold that light, right? And that heart and that love, beautiful one. So here we go. Now, just in case anyone hadn't seen me before, I will say I'm going to touch the heart, right, which be the fairies, the elementals coming in when you hear the high pitched light language I bring through. That's to touch the inner child, to release some things from the front and back of the heart. The Native Americans may come in, the deep sounds, bringing in the ancient ones to help with that generational ancestral releasing. Clicking sounds would be me working on your multidimensional aspects. Now, even though I say fairies, ancient ones, Native Americans, multidimensional clicking for cosmic beingness. For me, and we're talking about re-education, right? All those names are source, right? Wearing those masks, expressing, right, in that different personas or energy, the names that we are used to, right?
Yeah.
Each of those energies called by that different name. But for me, so I say the name because people are familiar with it, but also beginning that re-education, that expansion of their consciousness to understand actually its source, which
Yeah.
they are, right? Also an aspect of embodied, right? So reconnecting with that beautiful one. So here we go. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Venuntunel viderium, venuanel vidanai, venuntunel si varium, venune vinonai. C'est partout, chéries. Very, 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 very high energy, beautiful. Very, 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 language of Akash, right? To rewrite that Akash, clear what we don't need. Edimikasha, Enimikasha, 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 Kuasua, Kuasua, Hondande hayo, Sohita Hondai, Sotete Honda, Bahanu, Bahanu, Bahanua. Kuasu tutu undu kushkta hontai, idi parantulu surumberi. Charis. C'est le palotois. Back of the heart, front of the heart. Menunsun every day, Menunanaya, Menunsun every Sarianaya, Menunsun every day, Zanaze, chéries, elle est partout, elle est passo, chéries. Ceci, mon cher. Charis. enlever le moi. Sí, 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 sí. Esa, esa. Esa. I love it. Alara always yawns when she's in high energy. It's beautiful.
I started yawning as soon as you started. I tried to hold myself back, but I couldn't.
I had a couple of clients, right? And they say they burp when energy comes through. So at least this is easier for you to be on the shows, right? So you're yawning rather than burping.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, yawning is okay. Yeah. So yes, Joseph was asking if people here have had sessions with you, and I was just about to type in yes. So Alex said yes. I did a few. It's awesome. Lots of other people have had sessions with Audrey, and they're always amazing. I've had many sessions with Audrey as well, and she's they're always more than you think they're going to be. Like I always say that I always like after a session, it's always wow, and we've talked about that. How that's what people say. It's like wow, because it's like it's always amazing. So definitely.
thank you so much. Yes. So we're reminding them, right? Come get your wow. And I would try to tell my kids, I can't find words to explain the depth of this because it's more an experience, and each time an experience. Because remember, we've been doing this for millennia, so those of you who have had a session, if you have an opportunity that you can have another one, please do so, right? Huge files, and there's so much that we have been through again for millennia. So it is beautiful, right, to take off whatever else needs to that may still remain, and then again receive the number work, right? So at higher levels of whatever numbers they may have left off at. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But exactly, so many clients would say to me, wow, they open their eyes, after you're just relaxing, and the first thing they go to me is, wow. They can't say anything else because it's so beyond words. So I told my kids, and I shared with Alara before, I just got to tell people, come get your wow. I said, the only problem is people are going to think it's a selling tactic, but it is not, right? As Alara is giving a testament to herself. So thank you. Yes, come get your wow, because it's an experience and words lack to attempt to try to explain the experience,
Yeah, exactly. It is hard to explain, but yeah, it's more than what she just does on these live calls. Definitely. I know Linda has her hand raised. She wanted to ask a question.
Yes, perfect.
So yeah, if you have a question, one second, Linda. If you have a question for Audrey, you can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. Sorry, go ahead, Linda.
Hi,
Hi,
Audrey.
Linda.
Hi. I want to know, how do we shift this timeline so that it stays away from the negative bent that's going on right now? And how can we increase it so that everyone feels lighter?
Exactly. That is like what people always speak about. What's my mission? And we have many missions, many things that we're doing here. But that is, the huge mission to be here, right? And as we said before, hold the light unto the world. When we were speaking about the darkness, right? Walking through the valley of death, hell in a way of what is going on when you understand the abomination, the level of abomination that has gone on here. So we have come in to assist in that. There are timeline wars that have gone on in the war of consciousness for millennia in creation, not only what has visited here humanity and Gaia, but other worlds, right? Throughout creation, this parasitic issue and problem brought forth from that experiment of sleep and forgetting, and has totally disturbed the fabric of creation itself, and why we have come in, and why the decision to pull the plug on that experiment into density and duality and polarity, chaos and sleep, because of it affecting the body of creation itself to be so unbalanced and constant parasitic upon its own self, which is a contradiction to life and creation. So we are here, yes, trying to hold that, right? Every time they want to pull us off of the higher timeline that we're doing works and here to hold the light for, to make sure that we stay on that higher timeline, the other forces want to pull it back, right? Their agendas, because they know this is the end for them. There's not going to be an option for one in creation to experience those things any longer. That was an option to be explored, so they know that's going to be the end of them. So why every time, they're not going to have their food any longer, they're not going to have the things that sustain them, so every time they want to keep clutching onto whatever they can so that they would keep themselves going for even whatever moments they can yet, so that constant try and to pull us back, do the things they do to keep the other old path that happened already. Because for me, being one who has come from the future, the past, all times, right? Time travelers, so to say, this thing that they want to do with transhuman and AI and all of this, people think, oh, it's what it's leading us to. From my understanding and perspective, we've come back because it happened already. The transhuman AI thing that we see happening now is the past that we're witnessing yet again happening and going forth, right? That loop, that same old again. And why we've come in, so we change things, which we've done and we've accomplished, as there is the new future, us, right? That new future point where none of this is happening anymore. So we cut that looping, but this is us from that point again, reaching to that future, new future, not the old future where transhuman and AI happened. It didn't work out well. Creation lost so much of itself in that. And so why we couldn't change things from going forward from that point, and we had to travel to that old future's past, which is our now present moment, right? And that new future that was created. So we must continue to do the things that we're doing, any type of works that any of you can receive that you understand are high vibration, to help you to keep filling your cup, because you're constantly, right, putting it out, whether you're aware or not, just by being here in embodiment, just by not being asleep or sheeple, right? You understand, you have awareness, So we have to unite, just like we're going to do on this call, and that we are doing, because when we unite, we amplify that even more fully, right? To make sure that their agenda, the things they're doing, the old past, that we see them playing out yet again, that we have those other footsteps, right? That we made, that other higher timeline. So we make sure that we keep that maintained. That is already, but we must make sure we just don't sit there and say, oh, yay, everything is wonderful, we made it the new future. No, because each time, past, present, future, affects, right, each other. And why we must, right, continue to do the things that we're doing here. So we make sure we keep that new path, right, that new timeline, that new future timeline in effect and happening, right? And we're back here to lead whomever else we can out of the loop, out of the old future that didn't play out well, out of that stagnation, so they also can take part, right, in that new future, which would entail them again being of heart, being higher vibration, higher consciousness expression. Because anything else, my work says it's the time of the great divide, right? The great divide being, where are you going to find yourself, right, in creation, as those are the two sides, the one that is the new future, right, self-sustaining beings, true creative beings, right, that are self-sustaining, right, or the one that is going to be the path that those chose that are devolutionary path, those that are parasitic, vampiric, non-self-sustaining systems, parasitic, they are the ones that are going to be absorbed back to the all that is, to either, if they have some grace, to be remade, that is beautiful, but if not, if they cannot be remade and healed into wholeness, yes, then they will be absorbed back to the all that is. That's why I constantly tell people, if you want to keep your gift of individualization, it is so important to tend to your essence. Yes, you're going to see the benefit in physical, but please do not be distracted in physical that you do not tend to your soul, which is your true spirit, your essence, your beingness, because that vibration, because all is vibration, must be in concordance with the new platform, so you can find yourself there. And again, have the key in the heart that opens the doorway. The path leads you, that path, right? To continue to have your individualization still as a spark of divinity, continuing on an embodiment, right? A creator being, accessing the true magic to create anew from that place of wholeness, W, right, with a W, wholeness, which is then holiness with the letter H, So what could we do to do that? We keep doing what we're doing, receive works like this, so they help fortify, strengthen you right upon that journey. So you keep putting that light out, that energy out for yourself and for others, to be the lighthouse, maintain the lighthouse within the storm, right? For yourself and for others. I'm going to speak some light for you, Linda, right? And for everyone, receive this. This is how we break up the denseness of the fog of the storm that is occurring and happening, right? To be the lighthouse that, as a lighthouse, shines that light, right, through that density, through that darkness, for ourselves and for others who may see that light and then able to find that way, So here we go. Each of you will receive it as appropriate for yourselves, but also we're weaving, right, this out to creation, to support what we were talking about, what Alara mentioned about it being so heavy and dense. Well, of course, look what is going on, right? And part of the old story playing out yet again. Corasara yomana perutura si chiarise tu le vole vole sole patwa hotikaru assise bantu le vatu yeri saru makuru sur makuru imakira tutu umakira so vida rusurum tier ist ad uriana biere rutu stero makit akium viane. I'm going to do some numbers now. Now the numbers are energy because languages and symbols, unfortunately, have become contaminated. But numbers come in the language of creation to hold the highest light frequency, right, beyond contamination, so that we can deliver them also to support everyone and out to creation. You do not, whoever's work with you knows that they write numbers, but these are not numbers to write. These are just numbers to bring through and receive the energy, not only for all of you, but for creation as we're doing work. So here we go. 386, 386, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 21, 386, 10, 12, 386, 10, 12, 19, 18, 54, 19, 18, 54, 63, 63, 10, 12, 10, 12, 17, 18, 54, 386, 10, 12, 386, 10, 12, 19, 18, 54, 19, 18, 54, 386, 386, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8, 12, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, 16, 18, 54, 16, 18, 54, 386, 10, 12, 13, 18, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. Usta arumakion arusurum. Viere taru vasaru makian e partirum. Siorte, siorte. Isorte, esa, esa, esa. There you go. Thank you, Linda, for asking.
Linda, how are you doing? Linda?
Hi, Linda.
We can't hear you, Linda, sorry. You can just type in the chat if you want.
You know, Laura, the mother wanted to come in at that point, but I didn't know whether we should do it right then or wait a little bit. So you let me know when you want me to bring in the mother, okay? Mm-hmm. We'll explain more, everyone, to what that mother is. It's not the traditional mother they may be thinking about.
Rosemary's asking, and this is a great question because, you know, this is something that we all do think once in a while. And she's asking about, you know, we all come from source, so that has to include the lower energy aspects of ourselves, right? So don't we need to simply stay in love to push away the darker aspects of ourselves away rather than see these as separate from ourselves? We are one with all that is.
Well, this is the thing, right? For me, when you speak about those lower expressions, we were complete and whole unto ourselves, right? People sometimes say, we need chaos, we need polarity and duality, you know, duality to be. You got to find your way in between there. To me, it's like, no, right? I'm complete unto myself, right? Whoever expressing as an embodied Christed one, a representative being a God embodied, right, in fullness of oneself. Why would you need chaos and duality and sit in between that? No, right? We are going back to that place, the new future that we speak about, the place even right here that we could be full and complete unto ourself, balance the male and female energy within ourselves to be even beyond the chakras, which are points that unfortunately we've been captured by sometimes, to turn them all on and be the pillar of light, right, for ourselves and a support of the new of creation. But when creation, right, had determined to experience itself, right, in what it is, it knew already. Let's explore what we are not, yet we are, yes, and go into sleep, forgetfulness of our own self. Because we don't, if we remember that, how could you play in jealousy, anger, death? You cannot, right? Your higher expression of source and beingness. So thusly entering the sleep, the forgetting, right? To experience duality, polarity, and density, where those things can come forth, right? Because they then have played so deeply in the part that they played or created to play that part, that they moved so far away from the source of which they are to keep them right strong and emanated. That's why they devised this stuckness and became parasitic, to get that life force, off of others and maintain it over and over again. So when ourselves, if someone says the lower expressions of ourselves, yes, we could put love, 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 because this is what I say. We have been looping in this for millennia. We have been giving love and love and love and love, right, to those portions of ourselves, or those portions that have forgotten themselves or become parasitic or vampiric. Yes, they have not been healed for millennia of throwing love, love, love. What I remember, I would come on the show, Lara, and say, like, we're holding the bus, right, or the train. We've been holding it, right, holding it, holding it, holding it, right, waiting for it to wake up, waiting for it to be healed, right. And it has not happened for millennia. That it has happened so much out in creation. Thusly, people know the stories of beautiful worlds and beautiful beings being destroyed, yes, over and over again. That thing in forgetfulness of itself, destroying others of itself, it doesn't remember, so it could suck its life force and energy, right? So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It has disturbed the balance of creation itself, right? So this is why this has to be stopped. We have, in an action of love, now it is the time of the great divide, right? What is going to continue on and what it is not. That's why I say it's very important for us to, everyone always thinks about what they want to manifest, which is fine. We've come here to play and such and create, but we also have to manifest our own self in resonance with the news so we can be found there, and in great love. This action is being done. So those portions of the lower selves, or the lower expression source expressing in those ways and such deeply forgetting, can go back to be healed and remade, right? Or stay as part of source. So they no longer infringe, right? Or eat or destroy other portions of creation that are full unto themselves, right? And can express in that fullness. Not like some being is going to show up, like has happened continually throughout creation, destroy them and their worlds and put them thusly into a closed heart, a trauma, dramas, all of this going on and on and on. So we have done the love, the love, the love, right? For millennia, for eons, right? So now is why we've come to, so to say, what I talk about, the closing of the old book, sealing the old book where this story went on, right? So we have this healedness, this wholeness to return to, this balance and holiness. So we can go forth, and creation itself and us as part of that will write in the new book of life. Those of you have been able to wake up, right? Truly, it's not words, love, unity, oneness, that are empty, but essence to it. Yeah.
So, Audrey, is that you cutting out, or is that
love,
me cutting out?
the highest expression. They are the ones,
It was
despite
her.
all that has wanted to hold them on, right?
Is it her?
Forget.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
it was
thank
her.
you. Thank you. I wasn't sure. It's like, I'm not sure if it's me. So Audrey, you're cutting out a little bit, so we're kind of missing what you're saying, and you're frozen now. She's probably gonna get kicked out in a second. She's back.
Frozen. Let me know when I'm frozen.
Yeah, you were frozen.
Am I unfrozen? I'm
Yeah.
back. So
Yeah.
basically the message was, those who wake up and were able to wake up despite all that has gone on, right? They go down to their predecessors, right? Which are us, right? And they go down in the book of life as the shining, triumphant, golden ones, right? Because they are the ones that walk through all of this experiment, all this duality, all this forgetting. And they were able to wake up, right? Despite all that wanted to keep them asleep and eat them up and hold them down. So they are the ones who make it out, right? Who wrote this story in the book of life, so that knowledge is there for creation itself and for us, right? Thusly why we seal it now. And as the shining, triumphant, golden ones go forth, right, to write in the new book, a new creation, after we have gained this knowledge to know what we are not, what creation is not, yet it is. And we have a fuller picture of ourselves, as creation does as well of itself, from this knowledge that was gained by walking through this,
Awesome, thank you. So Rosemary, hopefully that you got most of that message as well. I think we got most of it, Audrey, thank you. So Shama just wrote in the chat. So Shama, I'm not sure if you got the beginning of the call or not, but we did, or Audrey did a clearing for heaviness and density that's been going on, and people who may be, having a rough time. but she said, my son is going through a rough time. I'm assuming this means 1 month, I don't know what this means, 1 month old being home depressed. That makes no sense to me, but okay. Working through COVID, 25 years. Mitchell, I think must be his name, needs some clearing of density and or childhood trauma. So I don't know if you want to address that, Audrey.
Well, I'm going to address it because so many people all around the world, right, are finding themselves in that same situation. It's just so overwhelming, and depressing and sad and all that is happening, So, yes, we're going to, no coincidence in that question, you reaching and being asked, because it is needed, right? So we're going to give it to her and her son, but then ripple out to everyone else as well. And you can get a session for a loved one, because you can write some numbers for a loved one and keep the numbers in their space, we can't totally infringe, right, upon another's, right, cup, take the cup from them, but because of love, and we were talking about, we could assist another, right, because that is affecting us, right, in our field, right, if we're heartbroken or upset about them. So through that love and that heart, you can have a session for someone else that could receive the light language, or you can write the numbers for them and put the numbers in their field, in their room, you know what I mean, under their fitted sheet, which will then help them, you know what I mean, if they would not be cooperative, so to say, to read the numbers themselves, so that's also very important if she can do that for her son, or someone else wants to do it for one of their loved ones, Okay, so here we go. They're going to bring in the ancient ones that bring in the Native Americans bring in the ancient ones for that generational ancestral releasing as well, because this is also bringing up, right, other traumas as well that has gone on in other lives, other aspects. And again, all source, but we just calling that energy that. So here we go. Ora kuso amatue, basue verira, kusino no te basirarira, chure virere Down the belly button. Ondu gusundu, tunde, tudu yi, tandu kundu sundu, piandu gutara, payandara kusita, yandere barusu, rum, tai, tai, anatosi, kandai, back coccyx bone. Hoya mahane, hoya mahane, hoya mahane, sontara, sontara, kiana paso, sukutura, yetu, yetu, yertetu. Now some lighter for that heart, right? Make that deep releasing a little bit more gentle and lighter for them to be able to work through. Que kwezi, que shikokoa, suitara. Se va le malua, turre, yanduru, ye pian cano sure. Some numbers, not for writing, just receive the energy. 8, 3, 6, 10, 12, 15, 18, 54, 15, 18, 54, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 18, 21, 3, 8, 6, and 12, 13, 14, 18, 21. 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, ur isk, erush, ashk, aptkush, ekium, a CSE reaching the multidimensional aspects, ishk, aptkush, ara, Kash language, you read the Kashamarure, Sundara, enemy Kasha, Kea, Kashara, Umekire, Durisit, Ar Esht, Ur Mara, CSE, Esa. Now, for all of you beautiful ones, I'm going to bring through the mother. And the mother is the first point of all creation, right? The mother not being all the mothers who are familiar with their names, nor the mother, meaning mother, father, God, okay? This is the mother of all mothers, the mother which is the womb of creation, right? The plasmic, primordial, first point of creation, the giver of life to all the rest of creation, And one of my messages years ago said to tell them, it is time that you follow the lifeline, which is the umbilical, back to that womb of the mother. Yeah. So I'm going to bring through the mother right now. So that's why you can just sit in the nourishment, yes, to be fortified in that womb of the mother. We're good, Lara? Yes, we'll bring through the mother now. Okay, so here we go, the mother. Isimeua, imehiri susia. Isia ion. Asia. Asia. There you go. You know, one of my beautiful clients said, oh my goodness, because they say wow. And then I bring in the mother and they're like, we already said wow. We don't even know what to say in this. And it's just like this breath of life. Another one said that breath of life that comes in and pulls, right, and pushes, right, and dissolves all that negative away. So that's where you can be nourished, right, in that womb. So, and in a session, they'll have all this going on for them. They're going to write numbers, right? And when you write the numbers, it works with your neural networking, not 3, 6, 8, or 12, but long pages, list of numbers to weave the code for them, sacred key code numbers. And besides receiving the works, right, they are going to then go away with this list that they're going to read the numbers over, create what they would like to bring to them. Anything needs to be dissolved, no more, be strong while that is happening, think on those things, or not even think on anything specific, because like I say, right, we have the unconscious, the subconscious, the multidimensional aspects. You wouldn't know in conscious mind what to set an intention for in those cases. So in this case, you would just read the numbers and allow them to go and attend to, right, what needs to be attended to, because it is energy that one would apply in any way, and anything that they need to apply it to. And when I say the numbers, when we work with them, it's not going to be quick. Like when I speak them, when I'm working with the energy, it's nice and slow so they can copy them.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. And so we are talking about the package from Audrey. There's 2 packages, A and B. A is a 60-minute personal session, and B is a 90-minute personal session, which includes the numbers. And again, the numbers are, you know, like Audrey says, pages and pages. And so she will tell you the numbers and you write them down. And she'll continue telling you the numbers and you write them down. And then she, you know, then you'll read them back to her to make sure you have them correct. But it's, you know, is there anything else about that? Like, you know, we've talked about this before, but how sometimes people will, you know, take the pages of numbers and put them in their purse, or put them in under their pillow or under their bed sheet, like you said, or somebody has even framed them, which I don't think you can do that anymore, because there's pages and pages, you know.
Yes, exactly. Unless they made it really teeny tiny, you know, and then put the list, because what happens is the numbers, each number, you know, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit represent a different frequency as they're climbing up, right? Acclimating and adjusting. Perhaps they may get to a certain level, work with them for a certain amount of time. And if they so feel the benefit of the work, they come and get a new list, right? Going even higher in those octaves, you know. 100,008 has been the highest number in physical embodiment anyone has received so far. When, of course, when I do the work behind the scenes that I do, that's different, you know. But when they reach those numbers, each time a different series doesn't make the first series obsolete. No, you just work with it. You're acclimated enough. You're able to then go into that new series to get to work with, you know. It was beautiful because I had a, you know, I'm called healer to the healers, but healer to all, right? So many healers also come to work with me, you know. And so this person had a pain in their neck and their back for ages and ages and ages, you know, and they had like 3 sessions. And on the 3rd session, they emailed me back and they're like, oh my goodness, they said they are husband and wife. So they were both having their series in session at the same time and their numbers and such. And they both got to the 3rd one and they go, oh my goodness, they emailed me and they said, you know, that they both saw, right, like what they called a gremlin. you know, that ran away, you know, that passed by them in the kitchen, right? They had gifts of sight and such. And it's cute. They go to me, now you can add gremlin removal to your list of all the things that you do, right? So that was the thing that she felt she's been carrying, you know what I mean, for like 20, 30 years, even though she's a healer doing what she's doing, you know what I mean? This was able to be released. And after having those series, getting the energy right to such a place that it could no longer sustain itself, right? There, because like all that high energy, right, was gonna make it die. So it like ran away, you know. So these are the experiences, you know, that people are having by these numbers, by this work that I'm doing, you know. So it really is huge, you know.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
thing would be like parasitic. That is the
Yeah.
parasitic. Remember I told the story once, one woman said she spoke French, so English is her second language. So she's like, oh my goodness, let me explain to you something, just like, not that she saw it on her kitchen floor, but as one who could see etherically, right? She's like, what is the word? What did it look like? She goes, like a squid, like an octopus, right? So those are the parasitic energetic things, right? That people may not sometimes be aware why they're feeling some of these things that are out there, that these works could help release from them, right? Also help open their heart and such, and no longer be in their field, feeding off of them, you know?
Absolutely. And that's the thing, it's like sometimes, you know, I mean, I know this for myself. I've had entities in the past and you know, didn't know, for some reason I didn't know it was an entity, and it was like horrible, but you know, it's like, you know, it's like I should have known, but you know, I didn't for some reason. And it you know, it took me to the brink of almost suicide, you know, twice,
Yes,
you know.
that's what they do, exactly. And like this woman, like you, being a healer, traveling the world, you know, by spirit, being, you know, directed to go to certain places and do certain works for years, you know, that her and her husband had come in to do, right? Yet that was still within her. Why? Because of course these things want to attach to the bright light that is there, you know what I mean? Parasite, what does a parasite want to do, right? One is unaware, but it's still there in the energetic field, right? Sucking off the beautiful light, like yourself, that one is, and then making these issues and problems that the human is just like, what's going on here, not understanding, right, the deeper situation that's at hand and what is going on, you know. So
yeah, exactly. So you know, then that was the last one, was 2018, and then I think in 2019 I sensed it, and it's like, okay, you know what, I know what this is, and I got it taken care of, you know. 2009, yeah, I think 2019. So it's like, you know, they do tend to, you know, be attracted to the light, but that does not mean that we should stop shining our light, right? Be
no,
you,
no, of
shine
course
your
not.
light.
Never, never, never. No, 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 right? It's like, you know, that's like in human physicality, when we talk about, you know, all the parasites that may be in someone's, you know, digestive system or bowel or whatever like that, right? These are things that exist in creation, right? And then are out there, but we don't see them, you know, with, let's say, physical eyes, but exist as well. So it's the same situation of what we deal with. We're dealing with that. But for ages and millennia, right? People didn't have awareness. They weren't educated about these things. Like I'm talking about, we need to be re-educated, right? In the bigger picture of things. And that is part of that education. That is part of one to be healthy and to help themselves, you know, in that situation and circumstance. What is that? That led to you being empowered, right? That woman to be empowered now, you know. This is a horrible story, but I'm going to share it. You know, as healer to the healers, I had a couple of healers that had just begun, let's say, their process. And as they were seers, two different people said to me, Audrey, I was so, you know, like taken aback, because now when I do my work, I pull from the back of the neck, right? The top of the spine, the base of the skull. I release. But these people themselves were saying, oh my goodness, that they said, Audrey, when I pulled something out, right? Not in physical, but etheric, you know, energetic. And they said they looked at the end of it and it was like a tube that had teeth that had been stuck in the back of the person's spine. You know what I mean? There at that place at the base of the skull and such. So you see, these works are very important, right? Energetically, to assist on a multiple of levels of things that we, you know, they're walking around and they don't know that the person, they know they're having issues and problems, and they were lucky enough to find someone who could help them, right? And I'm helping that healer, because that healer, let's say, is traumatized, you know, from that experience, like what the heck was that going on? So I help fortify them and strengthen them, right? And do works on them so they're even more fortified and strong to keep out there and doing the things that they're doing as well, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we've been talking about the sessions off and on throughout the call, but the packages, package A and B, are available at alara.at/show/Audrey4. Package A is a 60-minute personal session with Audrey, and package B is a 90-minute personal session with Audrey, which includes the numbers, okay? Package A does not include the numbers, package B does, because it takes a lot longer to write down all the numbers, okay? So they're both available at alara.at/show/Audrey4. There is, of course, a 2-part payment plan available as well if you require that. Joseph is asking, if I buy the package, how is the schedule? How long does he have to wait for the session?
Well, that's a good question. I had left because we knew that we were going to do this for a while, so I've kept some openings, so I wouldn't have to have your beautiful, people that were going to come through your show have to, so to say, wait, for months to get in. So I have some spots that I kept open, knowing that we would do this for when they would come, to be able to get in sooner than months from now, So they would connect with my email that you'll give them, and that is how I communicate with them. I'm on Eastern time frame, what time frame, where they are in the world, if we're going to Zoom, Skype, phone kind of call, and we work out a scheduling for both of us that will be comfortable, best to
yeah, so it'll be quick. It'll be quick,
It's
Joseph.
beautiful because all you have to do is write a little bit if you pick that, and you're just sitting down and you're either lying down or you're relaxing, and if you have part of that as well, to be rippling in that energy that's emanating out, right, to the space. So am I still with you, Alara?
You're back.
You have me?
You're back. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, but you're back. That wasn't too bad.
The beings of light. The beings of light want to say hello to you. Yes. So, so the beings of light in a session, beautiful ones, are a collective, right? I gave them the name beings of light, so we have a reference point, right? That's not their name. Their name is energy signature stamp, right? No language to put to it. And they come in a session and they talk to people, right? Not a fortune telling, because fortune telling, it's time to throw away the crutches and the training wheels. That's what we did in the time of sleep, right? You want to talk about, you want to be sovereign, you want to be a creative being, you want to stand in your power. Well, then you can't have everybody else tell you what to do like you did in the time of sleep and forgetting, right? You have to get your footing again. And they always say you are the master and the masterpiece, one and the same. Hold your paintbrushes and paint, right? And say there's many paths of possible probabilities, right? So things are always in motion and movement. So in a session, you could speak to them. Some can feel them. They'll either cry of joy, like their soul recognizing that energy, because the beings of light are part of all that is source, expressing in their own unique way. And they know and remember that. So they come in basically to have us feel them, those that can, and to remind us that we are that as well, right? We just forgot, So I'm going to bring them in. I'm right here. I don't go anywhere, but you'll see they sound a little bit different than me. And if I want to add my 2 cents in the conversation, they will say to you, channel says, which would be me speaking through them. And in a session, you get to talk to them as well, right? The first package has the beings of light and the mother that I'll bring in. And then the second package, they have that as well, except, like I said, the numbers. So here we go. Alara, beautiful one. We are so excited and happy for you. Yes, that you have your beloved one. What a wonderful job that you have done through all of that. Yes, supporting yourself. Yes, your family, and he as well. So beautiful. We are so joyfully overfloweth of joy. Yes, that you, and for he as well to be in your company again, which would be so rapidly here, helping him as well. And for your dear Neo, as you were already saying, so excited. Yes, him also being able to heal him as well. Yes, his beloved daddy, so to say. Yes, it is beautiful. And thank you so much, Alara, for having our channel come again. Yes, to share her work with all of your beautiful family of listeners. Yes. So beautiful, Alara. Is there anything perhaps you would like to say to us, speak with us before we return you to our channel?
Oh, I don't know. I just want to thank you for your support as well, and for your love during this whole process. It's been, difficult to say the least, but I know I've been supported by so many beings of light, including yourself. So thank you.
Oh, beautiful one. Yes. That is so beautiful, dear one. As you know that you have assisted him to be there while he walked through that part of his journey. Yes. So beautiful. No coincidence. Yes. He came to fill you up so much, but you also fill him and support him. Yes. Through this portion that he was, so to say, scheduled to walk through. So it is such a beautiful, yes, work of an entwining together of love and support is beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else, beautiful one? Or shall we return it to channel? We do so hope, yes. Perhaps someone will come and be able to speak with us, yes, in one of the powerful sessions and the works that our beautiful beloved channel does. Yes, yes.
Yes,
So, Lara, should we return it to our channel? Yes.
I
Should
lost
we
my
return you to our
cat.
channel?
Yes,
I
please.
lost my cat and Sunday, and I will like some prayer that he return home.
You lost your what? Sorry.
Cat,
Say
my
again.
cat, my little cat, yeah.
Her little cat
And Sunday.
on Sunday.
Oh, her cat. Oh, so beautiful one. We do not do the works, you understand? So we are going to return you to channel, yes? So she can bring in some works for you, beautiful ones. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, now it's Mimi, Audrey. All right, so some work for your beautiful kitty is what you're saying. Okay, here we go. Hundasa hoa hoa hoa. Hunana hunana hunana. Biarrituste kasha. And bianane ture me kasha. Koi 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 kasha. Kia 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 kasha kia 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 kasha. Hunana mahana katurum. Pierra sari vire 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 vire. That's for your heart. Okay, quiet, quiet, quiet. There you go, beautiful one.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Cipriana. Good. So Faye was asking, she says, my daughter is dealing with orthorexia. I'm not sure what that is. She really can use healing and support. Is there anything you can do or advise?
Yes. I'm going to send some energy through some numbers, right? Not to write these numbers, right? But just energy that is coming through the codes of the numbers, okay, for her? Here we go. 876, 876, 9810, 9810, 17, 18, 54, 17, 18, 54, CX 3810, 3810, 3810, 985, 985, 16, 18, 54, 310, 310, 16, 18, 54, 16, 18, 54, 310, 310, 310, 985, 985, 16, 18, 54, 16, 18, 54, Sunumin Shudibashudum, Elishilipa Tulipakosh, Ar Eruribakash, Kume Kuminimakash, Kui, and a Makash, clear that Akash, right? I don't read the Akash because bless who does that, but for me, it's like the old Akash. We want to clear what we don't need anymore, keep what we want, and then be in concordance, right? To rewrite the Akash, right? In the new Akash, higher frequency of what's available for us there. And Mikashe, Koe Kashe, Koe Kashe, Koe Kashe, Ki Kash Kash, come in the Kash, 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 Idakash, 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 Kumkakash, Ke Kasha, Koko Urtakasha, Kia Durusu, Terivita, Landere Kasha, Emekir, Mekasha, Kurre Kasha, Sua, yes, yeah. Now, I'm going to bring in Kali, right? Now, Kali, again, is a representative of source creation expressing through Kali. Kali is known, right, to help us destroy that which we want to break down, right, that has held us back. So that's why then we can build anew, right? So here we go. Kali on a new, Kali on a new, Kali on a new. Kali on a neon, Kali on a neon, woman. Hey, no, and on yeah, my Kalimikasha. Kalimikasha. Makua kua Kalimikasha is ekikium. CSC. Esa. Touch the heart again. There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you. Kali is always so powerful. But yes, I love how you affirm that each time, that yes, you're bringing in these aspects of source. They're representations of source, right? So we all know that everything is source, and we are source as well. And so when we are working with these beings of light, like Kali or the mother or the fairies or whoever, we're working with them, but we're not giving away our power to them, right? We're working with them together. They are part of our support system, our team, to assist us in helping us do our work. But they're all source, just as we are. So
I
just
love
wanted-
it, Lara. Thank you so much, because that's so important to be said. So I'm busy, blah, 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 right? So thank you so much for saying that, because exactly, this is about our empowerment, our empowerment. So many people, they love the angels, which is beautiful, beautiful beings. But remember, they're bowed to the angels. The angels were made, right, in the time of forgetting source, making them, right, which is itself, presenting, playing the parts, while we as source, we're going to play in forgetting to have support, right, in service to us, right? But not to say we give away our power. We have done that before in the time of forgetting. Now it is to use these skills, these gifts, these abilities to be re-educated, right? That this is here to help us and support us as we stand in our power again, right? As creator beings, accessing the true magic that is ours, as we stand in our sovereignty and divine birthright. Many people, some of my clients, when they have gotten to such a point where rather than playing in the old ways, right, they have that direct connection with themselves and source, right, which they emanate from. They're like, the angels and masters, they take a step back, like they're there, right, but they're not being, so to say, the one who's writing the story, right, or pulling their strings of where to go, what to do, right? They stand around, right? Source standing around, because now you have your direct connection to source, right, and yourself to make the decisions. What are you going to do or not do? That is how we are standing in the new future version of ourselves. If you think you're going to go there and say you're standing in your godhood, your divine birthright, and say, angel, master, galactic, somebody tell me where to go, what to do it for me. No, because it doesn't work like that. In the new future, we're expressing our godhood, right? Our true beingness of who and what we are. And so we access that directly as we had originally, so to say, before we began all that, right? Returning to that transfigured, right? Resurrected, transformed, and so that is how that works. So these times are the times to get that footing, right? And kind of get used to that again, knowing it is here, supporting us, working with us, but helping us to stand in that power again, which is our divine birthright and our sovereignty,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Faye says. She is an intuitive, sensitive soul and is in a bit of crisis. She doesn't have an appetite and has stomach pain when she eats. She has lost substantial weight. Yeah, so just, listen to this recording, with her if she wants to listen to it, or, the work that, Audrey just brought through is going to help as well. Right,
yes.
and of course, if you want to get a session for her, you can do that. Sorry, go ahead.
A session, exactly, because then she could write the numbers for her if she can herself. She could place them under the fitted sheet, because you don't want to hear it, crinkling, so to say, when you're sleeping. But that couple that I had told you about as well, with that, what they said, oh, now add gremlin, to all the things you do. She had put it, under her fitted sheet, and actually, besides working with them, had them there while she was sleeping, to assist and help as well. So she can do that as well for her. That was her daughter, she was saying, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Joseph had asked if there's a recording included, and I don't think there's a recording, so you can explain why there is no recording.
Yes, as far as the session, meaning a recording when we have the private session, if they have a means that they want to record themselves, they can. But the reason why I don't do recordings of a session is because it would be, as years ago, Spirit said, it would be as if you go to a surgeon, right? And you're going to have an operation. You're going to cut it open. You're going to do the work that needs to be done. You're going to seal it up, and then it heals. It bombs, right? The time goes and it heals. Why would you want to cut open the same place over and over again, And my work is so powerful and effective that it stays with you 3-4 days, meaning still working through, still acclimating, adjusting, right? For those 3-4 days, right? Now, it's not like you need to listen to the recording to make it more effective or efficient, right? Listen these many times, you know, to make it work. No, it is done in that moment we do it, and it just ripples still forth, right? Releasing, acclimating, downloading, and adjusting for 3, 4, 5 days, you know? Now, let's say they said, oh, I want to hear the recording. It would only be for joy, right? To listen to again. It's not for effectiveness or efficiency. And so that's why I don't do it, because you cannot take, so to say, that work, that file, and apply it to a different situation or circumstance that is going on, right? Because in that session, we're moving thousands of lives. You come another time, we're going to move how many other thousands of lives, right? Because that's done and accomplished. So we go to the next thing, right? Because remember, millennia people, we've been being wrapped in this and going through this, and how many lives and experiences that. Then you add how many multidimensional aspects that you are and have, and generational things, right? It's huge, right? All of this. So we cannot, it took us millennia and lifetimes to get wrapped in all of this. It cannot just in a moment, although thousands are being released and removed, you cannot overwhelm yet the physical vessel that we still need to hold together. You need to allow it some time to acclimate and adjust, you know. And then you would do another time, if you do another session, right, like Laura knows, then we do other things, so to say, other places that need to be handled and attended to. That original session would not handle that. So that's why I don't record. But if anyone has means and they want to do it themselves, of course, I would not say no to them. But it's not for any effective or efficiency, you know.
Exactly. Good. Thank you. All right. So, so Audrey, was there anything else that you wanted to share with us today?
It's just so important that they all understand, right? They are beautiful beings that are here in this crazy time and all that is going on, right? My work is saying to please maintain the lighthouses that you are for yourselves, right? As well as for others that you are, right? When you tend to your lighthouse, your own lighthouse, right? That also supports this light for others, you know, through this storm, all that is going on. And when you come and listen to Laura's beautiful show, right? To be nourished, right? Fortified, strengthened, right? Upon your journeys. So you have that light, right? To keep going forth and emanating out for yourselves and others, and works as myself, you know, because I didn't look for this, as Laura knows, you know, I didn't study, I didn't travel the world. I was a mommy, you know, and a wife, you know, always walking as a Christed being, but I was levitated and brought on, you know, like 2009, 2012, you know, and 13 coming forth and doing it all instantaneously happening, because it was time for me to code and assist creation in the works that I do behind the scenes, you know, and then all the beautiful souls that I'm called a soul architect and energy engineer that have been led to me to work to help fortify and strengthen, right, their souls when they have been through all this experiences they've been through, you know. So it is beautiful and powerful. So I hope those that can come and who have received today are here receiving by no coincidence. So thank you, Laura, for that.
Absolutely. And again, it's always about, you know, opening your heart and letting in the light, right? Opening your heart, letting in the light, but at the same time, open your heart and let your light shine. You know, no matter what's going on in the world, you know, it is really important for all of us to continue to be us and to shine our light through our hearts, not mentally, right? But from our heart space. Shine your light, shine your love out into the world. It helps. It makes a difference.
Yes, and the mind is the labyrinth. So you don't want to start getting lost in that, because that's just the labyrinth, right? So we want the heart is the new mind, right? And the heart is like the first thing that is made, right? Within the mother's womb and such, you know, that is the mind and the heart there. We're not only talking about also the physical heart, but that spiritual, right? Our soul heart, our essence that is emanating out, because truly, right? Rather than walk in the valley of death, right? We feel no evil because we are alive, live, the living, represented by that key, which being a being of heart and highest expression is going to turn, which is going to open that pathway for you, right? That way, right? To that resurrected self, so to say, right? That beautiful, beautiful thing that we as creator beings are here helping to support, making sure that it still is, right? Then dissolve in creation like it did in the old future. No. We are here, yeah? Making sure that it continues on. Source's beautiful expression, right? In the human, and assisting it, not only here, humanity and Gaia, but out to all of creation as well, what ripples forth. So thank you. You're all so important. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you everybody for all of your questions and feedback. And again, Audrey's 2 packages, package A and B, are available at alara.at/show/Audrey4. So please do take advantage of these offers. Book your session with Audrey. There are spaces available in the next few weeks. So, you know, you'll get, you know, once you purchase, you'll get information about how to go ahead and do that. So definitely, you know, if you've never had a session with Audrey, you will love it. You will be coming out of it saying, wow, as well, like we all do, right? So yeah, awesome, thank you. And thank you again, Audrey, so much. This was wonderful, beautiful, powerful. Yeah, like always, thank you. And thank you for your love and support.
Aw.
I so
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for being with all you guys. I have to make a heart. There you go. Thank you, right? Because we're talking about heart, beautiful hearted beings. Make sure you nurture, right? That heart, beautiful ones, right?
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you so much. Thanks a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.